3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by a guy who's moved around a bit in his career already. Out of the University of Texas, it's Colt McCoy.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Offensive starters time, Charles, for the Washington Redskins.
Let's look at Josh Dotson, the wide receiver out of TCU. Grew up in Fort Worth. His mom works at the university as a vice president. He actually went to Wyoming first, transferred back to TCU, and boy, is he a high flyer. Throw it up in the air, he'll go up and get it.
Looking to throw on second down. McCoy got his man complete over the middle. That's Howard. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They'll run it here with Pirine. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. And we peek at the defense now for Philadelphia.
Fletcher Cox is a Pro Bowl, all-pro talent at defensive tackle. And even though he didn't have his best year in 2016, still warranted double and triple teams from opposing offenses. If he's singled up, he usually finds his way into the opposing backfield to wreak a little bit of havoc.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Fresh set of downs here. Here's Pirine. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide. When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule. Where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
They'll run with Thompson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
To throw on second down, McCoy. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. Operating from the gun, McCoy. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Let's go.
Now McCoy. This will be caught just inside the 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series. Looking to throw on 2nd down. McCoy. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Thirteenth play now on the opening drive. Will this be the lucky one? It's 3rd and goal. Here's McCoy. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
Dustin Hopkins now for the Redskins field goal. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And Hopkins' kick is good. And it's 3-0 as the Redskins strike first. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5 quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. And this is incomplete. And here is the Redskin defense.
You want to make a cornerback better? Get him a safety that patrols the middle of the field. And DJ Swearinger coming over from Arizona will do exactly that for Washington. If you play aggressive man-to-man and someone gets free, Swearinger will police the middle of the field with well-timed tackles.
Now the Redskins have an extra man in the secondary here on 3rd. Throwing now is Wentz. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So not the turnaround they were hoping for, at least on this first drive. They were shut out last week, now an opening 3 and out.
And when you're coming off a game as they had last week, being shut out, this type of a start really puts a dent into your confidence.
So on 4th down, here's the veteran left-footed punter Donnie Jones to kick it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
To throw on 2nd down. McCoy is going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. On 3rd and 2, McCoy. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. Taking it about the 16. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Wentz now to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 15 yards through the air and a first down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Play action. Now Wentz. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 1. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Okay, even just being nice, the last 2 plays were not very good offensively. So if you're the play caller, was it the team's execution or was it strategy? If it was execution, you continue to call the game the way you're calling it. But if it's strategy, change up what you're doing and figure it out.
Hard throw, incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
No, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. 35 yards that time on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
It's Pirine to begin the drive. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 3-0 is our score. We'll head back to FedEx Field after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. They'll run again with Pirine. And an alley to run. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that the defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, there's 2 guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run.
On first down, McCoy. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And on 2nd and 10 now. Now Pirine, and an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive, and all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels, defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary. And if the 3rd level is leading your team in tackles, as a general rule, things aren't going so well for your defense.
Again, here's Pirine. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Now Thompson, and he'll be brought down at about the 42. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. The Redskins on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. McCoy into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Throwing his Wentz. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Preston Smith coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down for a loss of 5. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
3rd down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Working from the gun, Wentz. Going underneath to Blunt. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop the jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Back to throw. McCoy. And some space here. And avoids the contact by sliding. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
And some room to roam now. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Second down, offense behind the sticks here. 2nd and 13. And he's got room. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 13 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Wynn's going to try and throw on 3rd. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So he splits the uprights there, and I would imagine it's nice as a kicker. Right when it leaves your foot, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golfer that picks up his tee after a nice drive without even watching it land.
Solid analogy. I like it. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. They start on the ground with Pirine, and not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
Now a carry for Pirine. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half.
The Redskins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. 1:59 to go in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. To throw on third down, McCoy. And that is incomplete.
He's thrown one interception already, and that doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the game is going to go like that. But it does seem that he's a little bit off in his approach to this one.
Yeah, it does, and that was a risky throw right there.
Got to be careful about taking care of the ball, making sure you get back within yourself. I mean, those mechanics that they work on all the time, they're there for a reason. Kind of get back to those and maybe tamp it down a little bit.
And taken right on the 30. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a third down. Now Wentz signaling frantically, let's get to the line. Here's Wentz to throw. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Here's Donnie Jones now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. McCoy. He gets it complete to Harris. And he goes out right around the 39. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down. McCoy able to find Harris complete. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, McCoy looking middle, and it's incomplete. Niles Paul, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Back to the air on 2nd down. McCoy. The Redskins on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10.
Let's go!
From the gun, McCoy. It's brought in by Dodson. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Throwing on 1st down. McCoy out to the left there and complete to Howard. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Looking to throw. McCoy.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
The Redskins on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. McCoy. Eagle pressure. Too much this time. Down he goes. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. Both the Redskins and the Eagles haven't figured out yet how they're going to move the ball through the air. The defenses on both sides have kept points off the board, and it will be interesting to see if they can keep that up. All right, let's do it. Here's a look at the first half highlights. Eagles take it at the 44. Defense will win the battle and get the sack. This will go as a loss of 10. Redskins with the ball late in the half. McCoy's on target here, and he'll eventually be brought down, but not before getting to the 42-yard line. Still a little time left on the clock. Defense will get to the quarterback here. This will go for a loss of 7. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. Let's get back up to our nation's capital as we rejoin Brandon Guy.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And that is incomplete. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. On play action, it's Wentz. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
They'll toss it to Ajayi. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let him outside where they can really shred your defense.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This is Ajayi. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. The Eagles on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Wentz. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. So now on is Caleb Sturgis for the Eagle field goal. This one from 35 yards away. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few first downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
Now it's Sturgis converted on the field goal. Now he'll send this one away on the kickoff. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start. All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long.
Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
They run again with Ajayi. Ajayi hit. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
You give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there. Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down. They'll run it now out of the gun and give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. The Eagles on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Wentz. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Here's Donnie Jones now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Samaje Perine of the offense heading back out there. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play calling.
And that's off the mark, incomplete. The Redskins on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Let's go! 3,
Operating from the gun, McCoy. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. Fair catch called for. No gimme in these conditions, but he's able to look this one in. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. and he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it. They run with Ajayi. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
But he was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Now Wentz on third down. And he fires one, but incomplete. Here's Donnie Jones now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Now heavy Redskin pressure, and they block it. It's picked up. Remember, the ball is live. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on, and remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up, and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. There's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. From the gun, it's Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now it's Ajayi. Takes this to the 45. Broken tackle. Bought him a little extra space. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Eagles on third down. A very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the fourth quarter. The Eagles on third down. A very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Wentz. No, they would have gotten a conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They run for it with a giant. And it was a stiff arm there that freed him enough to get the first before he's tackled. A gain of 4 on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
I like the reasoning. It's too far for a field goal, and it's too short to really get a big field position edge on a punt. Let's go for it. And sure enough, it's the ground game that's able to convert for them on 4th down.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. To throw, it's Wentz. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the box. Offense.
So that one will be accepted. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Now Wentz drops it off to Ajayi. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Now, this will be the 9th play on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Normally, that's not the down and distance that you call a draw play. You usually want to wait to 2nd or 3rd down with a definite passing situation before that play is dialed up.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
The offense staring at a 3rd and 12 here. Now wins. And this one is incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
It's been a nightmare season. You're well under 500. Your defense hasn't really kept in a lot of games, and now it's spilling over to the kicking game. That's 3 points you've got to be able to bank on.
Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. So to give this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
The Redskins on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, McCoy, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. Here comes the pressure, and the Eagles get there to block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. Touchdown, Eagles. Around the NFL, 4th quarter right now in Atlanta. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they indeed win, it would be win number 9 on the season.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet, or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Defensively, certainly not fooled there. Play started at the 2, and he was tackled at the 2.
That has to feel good for them. Not happy about having given up the touchdown, but stopping the 2-point conversion gives them a little bit of a lift as they head to the bench.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On first down, McCoy. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. Throwing again. McCoy. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Redskins on third down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This will be 3rd and a mile. Operating from the gun, McCoy. Now he's going to send this one deep. It got his man complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. It's a big play there for the Redskins on third down. 46 yards. Well, if you're going to give him that kind of time, he's just going to shred you.
You might as well put a sofa out there for him. I mean, that's unbelievable because I don't care who you are in coverage, but that amount of time, someone's going to shake free, and he's going to be able to throw the ball with a whole lot of confidence.
And now a first down following that long gain. Now McCoy. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead. You've got to protect it. And he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
Second down now after the incompletion. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. He connected on his first, this from 41. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. Around the NFL, 4th quarter right now in Atlanta. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they indeed win, it would be win number 9 on the season. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. This is taken near the 13. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Looking sideline, incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Once again here on 2nd and 10. And bringing it in, this is Selleck over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
To throw is Wentz. Hard throw, incomplete. Here's Donnie Jones now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. This is taken at the 23. Oh, able to avoid him. A beautiful fake. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Washington. A lot of times they want this guy just to try to flip field position. He flipped it all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is, can you pick up 10 yards? That's getting a first down. Instead, he takes it all the way and provides a big spark for his team.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This is taken near the 13. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Wentz now to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Burton. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Throwing on first is Wentz. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Wentz going to throw. And he fires one incomplete. The target there, Mac Hollins. And it's 3rd down. On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. A bullet throw, but incomplete. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now Wentz, got to have this one. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Redskins will take control of the football in great field position. Samaje Perine and the offense heading back out there. And in the early going, the running game, as we see the numbers, it just wasn't on point. Well, now it's gotten more true to form.
And sometimes it takes a little while for an offensive line to get in sync. Because early in a game, defenses throw different patterns at you, different formations, different sets. And you might not block them quite the way you want to. But as you start to get into a groove and you figure out what they're doing, now it all comes together. And that's what we're seeing right now.
7 yards to go on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. And this defense looks for one more stop here on third after the run. And he'll give it here to his running back. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Wentz to throw on second down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Third and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. Working from the gun. Wentz throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. They convert on third with a gain of 22. Throwing now is Wentz. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball.
And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for one here and save the possible two-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for two here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah. Now
you're wondering why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for one here. As this gets them back within a touchdown and a two-point conversion. So a little under 50 seconds to go. Plenty of time if they can get this onside kick. And this will be recovered by the Redskins. And that should just about do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Well, look at Washington as they come onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
The Redskins, they can smell victory now. They take a knee. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Were you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Washington, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they lose their 9th game on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Redskins as we say so long from FedEx Field.